morning, fourth graders. We have to do the weekend. We are continuing looking at fractions and money and decimal points and how they all go together. So today we go to our calendar marker. We left off at the 10th. So if we look at our pattern, what should it be? Money, 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 money. All right, I'll stop singing. Sorry. So 10. We have a quarter, we have a nickel, and we have a dime. What does that equal? Quarter, nickel, dime. Well, I have 25 plus 10 is 35 plus 5 is 40. That's 40 cents. So, on our calendar collector, this would be 40 cents. Oops, got a little crazy there. So this is 40 cents. Make it bigger. All right, 40 cents. 40 cents. Okay, you can type anytime now. 40 cents. Also write it a dollar sign, a decimal point, 40, and we can write a quarter. Nickel, and a dime. All right. So now, what does that look like for fractions? So how many cents are in a dollar? There are 100 cents in a dollar, right? So if there's 100 cents in a dollar, we have 40 of those cents. So we have 40 hundredths. And that's one way people write it. This is the better way to write it because this is how you're going to see it. Underline, underline off over 100. Now remember, we were talking last week about how, can a number go into both of these? Well, I know that 20 goes into 40 2 times, and 20 goes into 100 5 times. So this could equal 2 fifths. 2 fifths of a dollar. That makes sense. If 20 is 1/5 of a dollar, then 40 would be 2 fifths of a dollar, right? Okay. And so when we make decimal points, whoops, we know that we have no holes, no whole number here. We're not dealing with a dollar. So we got to put our decimal point. There we go. 40. But also write it with just decimal point 4. That would be how they would write it. Okay. So now we're going to look at the next marker, which is Sunday, or was Sunday. Today's Monday. Looks like it's 40 again. Let's see. Yep. 110, 410, 310, 4 tenths. So it's 4 tenths. Or 4 tens if you're not looking at it as a fraction. All right. So in money, it's going to be the same thing, isn't it? So this is going to be the same exact thing as this. Okay. And this, well, guess what? It's going to be the same exact thing as this. It's just another way to represent it using base 10 blocks, which you were using in your math last week. That's kind of why we did that. So you would see the correlation between number corner and your math. And this would also be the same thing because you're still dealing with 40 hundredths, right? Or 4/10 of a dollar or of 100. Okay, so let's look at today. Today is Monday. It is the 12th of October. Ooh, we're getting close to Halloween. Whoa. Yep. Now we have a shape. How many are there? There are fifths. And what do we have there? 2/5. And we know 2/5 of a dollar is 40 cents, right? Let's look at our bigger blow up one. So 2/5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 2/5. 2/5 of a dollar we have learned is 40 cents. Yeah. So what we just did, guess what? It's the same thing, just represented in a picture form. So fractions can come in many forms. One of the biggest mistakes teachers do when they teach fractions is they only use circles, or they only use squares, or they only use, oops, went too far. Or they only use rectangles. I try to use many, many things because fractions are everywhere. They come in all different sizes and shapes. So the fact that this 2/5 of a dollar is the same thing as this 2/5 of a shape. Pretty crazy, right? But it is. Now this would just be the 2/5 that you're seeing there. So this we can just write 2/5 because this fraction does not show the hundredths. Okay. I love how that makes that small like that. Underline 2. Take the underline off. Fifths. 2/5. 2/5. And so 2/5 in a fraction or in a decimal is going to be 0.4. And you're going, Miss Alford, that one I'm not sure about. I mean, I can see the money. I can see that. Well, fractions are division problems, and division problems sometimes they make whole numbers and sometimes they make fractions. So I'm going to show you when you go 5 goes into 2. Well, it doesn't go one whole, right? Because there's not enough. So the way they figure this out is when you go 5 goes into 2, well, I can't do that. So I have to make it a fraction. So I have to put a decimal point. And I add a 0. Well, 4 goes into 20, or 5 goes into 20 4 times. Bada boom, bada bing, 4/10. So 5 is 4/10. This is how I figure out your grades. I take the number right you have, divided in the number total, and I figure out your percent, or your decimal. Percent is a decimal point with a little sign. They take the decimal point away and they put a little percent sign like this after it. Oh, I can't draw with this. Ooh, not good, but you get the idea. So that is how that is equal to that with a decimal. I know you're thinking, now I can see it with money because you just showed me this picture up here. So I see the picture here, and I see this picture, but then when we get to the shape, you're like, whoa, wait, phew, mind blown. So, but it is the same, and that's how they figure it out. Yep, that's how they figure it out, and that's how I figure out your grades. I use that formula or algorithm in my life probably more than any because I'm constantly figuring out grades. So I'm constantly taking the number right you have divided into the number total there was in the problem. My favorite is when you get them all right, because if I have, let's say this was a math, so if you get 5 right out of 20, you get a 40%, which is an E, right? But if I get 20 out of 20, that's one whole, and one whole is 100%. Those are my favorite ones to grade because I don't have to do any dividing because I see it. I can say, oh. And you know, boys and girls, once you do this a lot, you can start to see what the percentage is right away because you've divided it so many times. So that is kind of why your addition or your multiplication this week, we went back to division, showing you what division is, because when I talked to you during your Zoom meetings, you were all like, we weren't really taught division. We really don't know what we're doing. So I went back and we went to the division strategies so you can see them. But when you are dividing and multiplying, they are so related. So the more you play with those math games on Prodigy or the circles and stars, or get some math or what am I thinking? Playing cards. Get some playing cards out. Put out 2, multiply them. Put out 2, multiply them. Just remember the jack is 11, the queen is 12, and the king is 13. And you can play war. Or instead of slapjack, slap multiplication. Put up 2 cards. Whoever multiplies them together first gets them. Make it fun. You're going to remember it that way. I mean, you can do flashcards. They're not as fun. But I have learned through all my years of teaching, if I can make it fun, you'll learn it way faster and it will imprint on your brain. Okay? So please take some time every day, and work on those facts. And that's why I have you go to Prodigy or those workstations to work on multiplication facts, okay? Because we're going to be getting into long division and you're really going to wish you knew them, because the one video you're going to watch this week is really good. I really like him. It's called Math Antics, and he shows you how when you're doing long division, you have to know your facts to help you. Because if you know your facts, you can quickly go, oh, this would work. Oh, this won't work. And it saves you a lot of time and it makes your math more efficient. So I hope you have a great day. I hope you had a great weekend. And tomorrow we will continue with our investigation. As you can see, they kind of give you a hint there what we're going to look at next.